Alrighty, folks, we got to talk about it. The one and only, and dare I say, great Barry Habib has made a mortgage rate call, a 6-month mortgage rate call that I think all real estate agents, mortgage brokers, future home buyers will be interested in. Folks, and if you don't know who Barry Habib is, he is, frankly, an outstanding economist, an outstanding forecaster, so much so that he is a two-time, not one, two-time winner of what is called the Crystal Ball Award, which is the award given to the economist who made the best and most accurate predictions for the year. So, again, I want to give all props, all words of encouragement, everything I could say about Barry Habib is positive. I am going to give you his forecast. I'm going to tell you how he got there. And if you follow my channel, you know that I disagree in a large way. But again, part of putting out a channel, part of running our business is really looking for folks that are respected, intelligent, and frankly have a wonderful track record. And Barry Habib has all of those. So again, if I were you and you were looking for someone who has the track record and frankly the hardware, Barry Habib in this space is that guy. So again, don't take my word for it. Go do your own Google search. He is, at least he has been, that good. All right, so let's get into it. So without further ado, Barry Habib's 30-year mortgage rate call in 6 months, not a year, not 18 months, 6 months, is 5.8%. Now, some of you probably fell out of your chairs. I did when I heard that. And you'll see a video later today, I think, with Matt, the mortgage guy, and I. We reviewed Barry's forecast. So this is how he gets there, because sometimes it's important to see how an economist gets there. So again, Barry Habib, two-time winner, got all the hardware, but this is how we get there. So step one, let's talk about the spread. We have been talking about the mortgage spread on this channel for the better part of 2.5 years. As you may recall, but for those of you that don't, the historical average of the spread between the 10-year and the 30-year mortgage is about 175, let's call it 180 basis points. During the last couple of years, we have seen that balloon. I believe the largest spread that I remember was 311 basis points. Today, that spread sits at about 265 basis points. What does all that mean? That means if the 10-year note does nothing, but the spread comes in, mortgage rates get better. So step one of Barry Habib's mortgage rate call, again, 5.8 in 6 months, is mortgage spreads come in from 265 to 225. So again, you're going to see almost a 0.5% improvement in mortgage rates simply because the spread gets better. Now here's the big boy. The big part of Barry Habib's 5.8% 30-year mortgage call in 6 months is he sees the 10-year note falling from roughly 4.7, which I believe it hit yesterday morning. Let's just call it 4.7 for easy math. He sees the 10-year note in 6 months at 3.6%. So when I look at these two variables, I believe that the spread coming in makes total sense. In fact, a trend is your friend, right? We've seen the spread come in from 310 to 265. So to think it's going to go further, completely logical. Where I happen to, frankly, disagree, and again, don't take my word for it, Barry's got all the hardware. I personally cannot fathom the 10-year mortgage rate falling from 4.7 to 3.6. For those of you in the mortgage business, in the real estate business, let me be clear. I hope I'm wrong, but as you know, I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. In fact, I have a T-shirt that says "Swing and a Miss." But again, I don't see it. In fact, I think the first 6 months of 2025 are going to be where the most, unknowns are. We don't know what's coming with executive orders. We don't know what's coming with tariffs. We don't know what's coming from deregulation. We don't know. And generally speaking, uncertainty is not good for mortgage rates, in my experience. Now, think about it for a minute. What would it take to see the 10-year note fall 110 basis points? It's got to be a recession, right? It's got to be. I'm just at a loss. But anyways, I wanted to make sure you knew that Barry Habib, someone who's a 2-time winner of the Crystal Ball Award, has a vastly, vastly different opinion than I have. And I thought it was worth sharing because some of you are very upset that I believe mortgage rates will average 7% for the year. So, hey, I gave you some hope, and I hope that is I hope that's okay. I do want to let you know that I have finally validated. I've been working hard with the facility and with my video team. We have launched and we will once again live stream the Vegas event. I know some of you want to come, but given calendars, you cannot come. Up above in the chat, you will see that I put the link to the event. I will also put it in the show notes. It'll be the first thing. Actually, it'll be the only thing in the show notes. If you can't make it out to Vegas, which you really should if you can, it's obviously best live so you can network and meet people. We have 74 tickets left. We didn't sell any tickets yesterday. We sold 0 yesterday, so 74 left. You can get your virtual tickets, $99. It will be streamed. We'll have one video streaming the entire event Saturday and Sunday. Also, just so you know, just like all the live attendees, anybody who buys a virtual ticket, I will make sure you get the full replay. So I know it's hard to sit in front of your computer for 2 days straight. So just like everybody who's in attendance, I will make sure you get a copy of the full replay because that's the big thing I'm doing. I'm recording the entire thing. I will make sure you get that. Expectations from the group who has to chop up the video and all of that is about 2 to 3 weeks after the event. I will give you access to the recording. So rest assured, you don't have to sit in front of your computer. You will get the recording of the event. Just like everybody who attends in person, you will get the video event. Because I know some of you want to network and meet people and you can't watch every presentation. So rest assured, you will all get it free of charge. So either buy virtual, which the link's above, or please get there in person. We still have 74 tickets left. Let's talk about some Fed speak. We've had both Fed President Hawker and Collins speaking in the last 24 hours. We will go through what Fed Hawker had to say first and then Collins second. Lots of stuff going on. Again, what we are trying to figure out from the Fed presidents is who is a hawk and who is a dove. We are clearly at the point in the rate cutting cycle or perhaps rate rising cycle where Fed presidents are going to disagree. Right? Everybody was on board when they were raising rates. Now we are at an inflection point. So Fed President Hawker, it is taking longer than expected to get to 2%. Sounds like he wants to hold rates at a minimum. Overall, consumer spending is resting on higher incomes. You and I have been talking about the K-shaped consumer, the bifurcated consumer. A lot of the consumer spending is lying on the shoulders of the top 20 to top 30%. Job creation has normalized. Specifically, the pace of job creation has normalized. Let's see if he has anything else. I've done 2 pages of notes. That's everything for Fed President Hawker. Let's go to Fed President Collins. Economy is on a gradual but uneven trajectory back to 2% inflation. I am less worried about labor market fragility. I don't know if I would have said that, Fed President Collins. That's we're going to clip that up. You might that might bite you in a few months or quarters. Collins again. The December rate cut was provided as insurance for the labor market. Interesting. Housing factors still a major driver of inflation. The December rate cut was a close call, which again, I think is something we talked about, right? You remember me talking about in December that I thought a rate cut in December was a mistake. I thought Jerome Powell and his cronies painted themselves in a corner and they had to deliver. Again, I'm on record. December was a mistake. They should have held it in reserve. Mike Simonson, Housing Wire, good old Mike Simonson. Love what he puts out there. He put out an article on Housing Wire talking about mortgage rates over 6%. You and I have talked for years about what percent of mortgages are under 3, under 4, under 5. What Mike did was he went the other way. He said, what is going on with mortgage rates over 6%? And here's the deal, folks. With mortgage rates at 7% today, 7.5%, whatever it is, the more mortgages that get done, the more mortgages will be over 6%. That's kind of how the system works. As of right now, mortgage rates over 6% account for 17.2%. And that number, folks, is only going to grow. So what does that mean? Well, I think it means a couple of things. The longer that rates are over 7%, which again, I believe will be all year. Barry Habib thinks it will be not long that we're under it, clearly, if he's calling for 5.8%. But the longer we are over 7, we're going to see this number tick up. And what will happen is that cohort of buyers or mortgage holders, they will be more apt to do two things. They will be more apt to trade up, right? If you are a first-time home buyer and you get into your home and you have a 7% mortgage and you have another kid, you get a raise, you get a job transfer, whatever it is, you are likely to do what our parents did historically. You are likely to list your home and buy a new home, right? That is called the move-up buyer. That is what has caused the destruction of transactions, is the move-up buyer is locked in with 3 and 4% mortgages. So as time goes by, we're talking quarters and years, the move-up market will start to heal itself. And again, this has been my call for years. Again, looking historically at the 50-year spreadsheet, we saw this exact behavior 1981 to 1994. It took 13 years transactions back to the 1978 peak. People just don't realize how long this could take. Second, the other thing that this does, if you are in the mortgage industry, is as we have more people with mortgages over 6 and 7%, you are starting to slowly build your future refi boom. Because, hey, if Barry Habib is right, but his timing is wrong, let's say Barry Habib is right, but it's not June or July, it's December. What happens? Well, what will happen in January, February, and March of 2026 is you will see nearly everybody who has a 7% mortgage rate, they will refi into 5.8. It makes financial sense, right? So again, Mike Simonson's excellent article on the percentage of mortgages over 6% is a wonderful thought experiment, and frankly, one that I wish I thought about. But again, Mike, great work. It was a wonderful article. Kudos to you. Don't know if you guys caught this. This kind of flew under the radar. But in the last 36 hours, the prediction markets for future inflations have went the wrong direction. One of the things that we should learn by now is the expectation of inflation drives a lot of behavior. So what happened? The futures market for inflation expectation was 3.6% at the beginning of the week. As of yesterday, I haven't checked this morning, but as of yesterday, it is now sitting at 4.1. 4.1. If the prediction markets are right, that would be on the cusp of what I would call the 1981-82, reflation, right? The thing that I have been most concerned about is a double top in inflation. I've been very clear that second spike of inflation caused by Arthur Burns and his early rate cutting cycle. That is the one that caused Paul Volcker to be elected, and caused Paul Volcker to say, damn the torpedoes, screw the job market. We are going to beat inflation. That has always been my fear, that we would see a return of inflation, causing the Fed to give up on their dual mandate of, stable prices and full employment, and just go, all right, we got to take a bout of bad medicine. And here we go again. So something to certainly watch for. Looks like our accountability group is once again leading from the front. If you're not a part of our school community, which is 67 cents a day, you're missing out. Just an example of what was talked about yesterday. Again, some of these things I know nothing about, which is awesome. And I really appreciate that the groups are doing this. So number one, how about HELOCs on investment property through a blockchain-based lending software? Folks, I'm not even sure how that would work, but our accountability group talked about it. I'm sure they went through the examples and whatnot. How about a bonus ADU program in San Diego, California? Again, something I know nothing about, but the group talked about it. And then finally, something that is truly, truly smelly. Heavy rain causing septic backups. Yes, if you've ever replaced a septic tank, which I had to do at one of my properties a decade ago or so, yuck, not good. I can only imagine a septic backup not being a lot of fun. So again, the accountability groups talk about all things. We have 6 different groups that meet all different times of the week. Check out the calendar. Find the one that makes sense for you. Join the group. Get the thousands of dollars in education. But more importantly, go make some new friends. The thing that you will see about the ORAC community and why you need to be a part of school is because you will be around 363 other folks going the same direction. It is impossible to find things like this. All of us are going the same direction. All of us are go-givers, asking questions, giving answers. It is truly the place to be. Go to school.com, search one rental at a time. Last thing I wanted to talk about is it looks like consumer revolving credit nosedived in December. Now, nosediving in December, it really doesn't mean much until you start asking yourselves what happens next. So typically, if revolving credit contracts, which is what nosedive means, meaning it's contracting, it's less available, you are going to see some impact on consumers. We will buy less stuff. In fact, if you look at revolving credit on a long duration chart, we're talking 20 plus years, you will see that the drop in revolving credit has preceded many of our recessions. Why? Folks, we're a consumer-based economy, and a lot of consumers buy on credit. So it makes sense. But there could be another reason. We could be seeing the early signs of banking, specifically commercial banks, tightening up because they realize what's going on in the commercial real estate market, which has been very much extend and pretend. They could be trying to fortify their balance sheets. Not sure. So again, this is something we have to look at. You and I should never get too hung up on a single month, right? December was noticeable in the contraction. But let's see if we have follow through. Let's see if maybe it was just a December balance sheet. Maybe banks were trying to make their Q4 balance sheets look strong. It could be. I mean, one month could have lots of reasons it could happen for a month. So let's see if January goes the same direction. Folks, that's the daily financial news. Please remember, we have now given you the option to attend our 2-day event in Vegas virtually. I will put the link in the show notes below. It will be the only thing in the show notes. Please buy your tickets if you can't make it. If you can make it, I highly recommend it. There's nothing like the networking, nothing like the conversations that will occur. But I understand getting to Vegas, travel, all of that. very expensive. And I appreciate that. And again, remember something that I like to do. If you are coming in person or you buy your virtual ticket, I will give you the replay for free. Please give me 2 to 3 weeks to get the video edited, chopped up, loaded. But just like last year, I will exceed expectations and give everybody the video. Folks, have a wonderful day. 74 tickets left in person, 12 of those VIP. Lots of virtual tickets available. There is a cap, but it's rather high, so we don't even need to talk about it. Join school, and we'll talk to you next. Oh, did you guys see the video live stream with the uneducated economist? We did that yesterday. Went for about an hour and a half, the uneducated economist and I. Hopefully you've seen that. Hope you had some fun. Take care. Later.